This is one of the most tragic days, in my opinion, in the history of the State of Israel. Hamas returned the bodies of the people they had kidnapped. When they were kidnapped, they were alive. Of Shairi, Ariel, Kafir Vivas, and Oded Lifshitz, who is 85 years old. He was kidnapped by Hamas on October 7, 2023, when he was only about 9 months old. He was kidnapped by Hamas and executed along with the others before he had even begun his life. Today, they are returning to Israel. In particular, this is one of the most emblematic symbols throughout the entire war. And Vivas, because who is so ruthless as to kidnap a baby? And not only to kidnap a baby, but to demand terrorists be released by Israel in exchange. The agreement that Israel made with Hamas is that Israel releases terrorists who are in prison, and the Hamas terrorists who had kidnapped these babies release the bodies. I want to show you something. This is breaking news on Al Jazeera. There they go walking. As you can see, we're not talking about very nice people. They are the Islamic terrorists of Hamas, of the Jihad.
Long live the state!
Long live the state!
What surprises me is the number of people, of civilians walking around out there. I don't understand. They're going to bring in the bodies of babies and they're treating this like it's a show, like a concert. How can people be so ruthless? At this event, as if it were a show, some of the terrorists who had been released in earlier phases of the agreement also came. So they also came to see this macabre spectacle, people who are completely bloodthirsty. And this is what impresses me the most, that people come, innocent civilians as they are called in the media, with their children. I don't understand how mentally depraved you have to be to bring children to see coffins with babies, Jewish babies inside, as if it were a show. That's their society. Do you understand what we, Israel, are facing? Because there are many people who don't understand, who label these kinds of psychopaths as innocent civilians. They use their own children as human shields and indoctrinate them. And they come to see babies inside coffins, Jewish babies, the Vivas family, an 85-year-old man, Oded Lifshitz, may his memory be blessed. So here I show you, here you can take a picture. This is Kafir Vivas, may his blood be avenged, being handed over by the terrorists. Oded Lifshitz, I don't want us to forget, because there's a lot of talk, obviously, about Kafir and Ariel, who are the most iconic babies during this war. But let's not forget that Oded Lifshitz, an 85-year-old man, we're not just talking about any Jewish man. He was very much in favor of coexistence between Arabs and Jews. He helped many people from Gaza. He was a very pro-peace person. And then these bastards come, kidnap him from his home, and execute him. And they exchange his body for a terrorist. I don't know if you knew how these Hamas terrorists put on their show. They put people on stage, those who were in Bidar, they put them on stage and make them wave, say a few words. That's the show they put on for the media. Look at the show they're putting on now. They put the bodies on the stage as if it were a show. And look, the paparazzi taking pictures, putting on the whole show. Let me remind you that on October 7th, about 300 Israelis were kidnapped from their cribs, just like you saw with the Vivas babies. They were kidnapped, taken to Gaza by the Gazan terrorists. Many of them were executed. In exchange, they are giving back the bodies. Hamas wants Israel to free convicted terrorists in return for these babies' bodies. I can't believe how cynical this is, or that people support them. How can you support the Palestinian cause if this is what it is? Look at what the Gazan terrorists asked for in exchange for the bodies of these babies. And Madagubo Aguima has 12 life sentences. To get a life sentence, a person has to be extremely despicable. Having 12 is excessive. Ahmed Abu Hadar, 11 life sentences. Mohammed Mazara, sentenced to 9 life sentences. For taking the lives of soldiers, for carrying out the lynching in Ramallah. That was one of the events that triggered the second intifada in the worst way. 6 life sentences, he injured more than 100 civilians, and this is what they never want. That they return to them in exchange for Jewish babies that they kidnap. Another guy, 6 life sentences. He also took the lives of many Israelis. 13 life sentences, the same thing. Can you understand the huge ethical gap that exists between those who support Israel, like those of you following us on this page, versus those who support the Palestinian cause? All this time that people were supporting and marching in favor of Hamas, it was for this. This was Hamas's goal, to kidnap innocents in order to free terrorists. The United Nations has played a big role in trying to pressure Israel, in trying to give more power to terrorism. And I'll show you an example. These are Red Cross vehicles.
With strong faith, possibly from families, that they won't be taken. Don't let Benjamin Netanyahu give in to civilians or think the show is over. This is the second stage of negotiation.
There you have the incompetent people from the Red Cross arriving who haven't done absolutely anything. Look at this spectacle. Look at this spectacle. You know what? What surprises me is that these terrorists in wartime dress like civilians. They don't fight in uniform, but when there's a ceasefire, that's the cowardice of these guys who pose there, do that. When it's not wartime, when it's wartime, they disguise themselves as civilians. And another thing, I take it back. I said that this is one of the most tragic days in the history of the State of Israel, in my opinion. I'm really thinking about it. It's not a tragedy. This is a crime. This is something nefarious. These are the Nazis of our time. These are the Nazis. They want to wipe out the Jewish people. They use the worst methods of cruelty. They execute babies indiscriminately. The Red Cross International Committee, the most incompetent organization. And I show you the official page, the Red Cross website. This is in general. This is the Red Cross page in general terms, what they are supposed to do when there are conflicts. An immediate and unconditional release of the hostages.
No.
It failed because it wasn't unconditional. Israel had to release the kidnapped. They failed. Information about the hostages and their situation. No, the Red Cross never contacted the Israeli hostages, not even once. Point 3. Access to the hostages and making sure they have been treated humanely and with dignity. Check on their health conditions. Some of them may need urgent treatment if they have any pre-existing medical condition. The babies who are alive. They were kidnapped alive and were returned dead. The Red Cross didn't do this. Fourth, sending messages from the hostages to their families. This didn't happen either. The Red Cross didn't do that. The only signs received from the kidnapped came from the Israeli intelligence service, as much as possible, or when other people who were released during this period, they were able to mention where the kidnapped were, or the videos, propaganda videos that Hamas released to wage psychological warfare against Israel. So yes, here we have the international organizations feeling very comfortable, sitting together with terrorists to be able to carry out all this wickedness against Israel. Here's a key message for you, gentlemen. It's not just the Red Cross. These are international organizations. NGOs like Amnesty International are completely anti-Israel organizations. UNICEF for children. UNICEF never asked anything about the surviving children. When they protested for the babies to be released alive, I'm going to show you how far the madness of this goes. This was recorded this morning. I'm sending you a video from a couple of hours ago. These are the humanitarian aid trucks entering the Gaza Strip. Because this is part of this stupid agreement that now we also have to feed our enemies. We have to give them this humanitarian aid so that Hamas can keep filling their bellies, while our babies are executed in tunnels, kidnapped from their cribs. This is madness, gentlemen. This is for those who think that giving humanitarian aid is something ethical. I think this is the most unethical thing possible. Look at how many humanitarian aid trucks there are. This is the opposite of ethics. You shouldn't give rewards to evil. You fight against evil. To close this video, I want to share a thought with you. I find it impressive, but there are no coincidences in life. Hashem creates destiny to give us messages and help us understand. The Bibas siblings, also Shiri, had orange hair, like reddish red-haired. And that's why, at this moment, the color orange is strongly associated with this very difficult day for Israel. It's very much associated with the color orange. But gentlemen, you know it was also the color orange. Hashem orders the world in ways that amaze you, and this is one example. Gush Katif, in 2005 in Gaza, there was a community. There were several communities. The Jews who lived in Gaza were expelled from their homes in 2005. And the symbol for not being expelled from their homes was the color orange. The color of Gush Katif was orange. In 2005, the order was given to evacuate the Jews from Gaza. For what? To hand Gaza over to the Gazans, to the Palestinian Authority, to the Arabs. To give them Gaza and supposedly achieve peace. To give them the Gaza Strip. And they believed it would become the Singapore of the Middle East. People with Emunah, with Torah, understood that it wasn't true. It was a very stupid decision to give them Gaza, because they knew there was a danger this would happen. The international community, which pressured Israel so much, said that if we gave up Gaza, there would be peace. But those people from Gush Katif, who were taken out of their homes, they wore orange that day. Today, Israel, we are in mourning. We are in mourning. Also, orange for them. Isn't this a huge sign? How strongly is the color orange associated with Gaza? This is the sign that this was an enemy, because giving Gaza to them, it led us to this, and by this I don't just mean the living. I'm not just referring to those 4 who returned to Israel in coffins. I'm talking about everything since October 7th. Giving up Gaza was a big mistake. Now there's pressure on Israel to give up Judea and Samaria. Why would we do that when they say Israel should stop occupying? A Jew cannot occupy Judea. Judea is ours. It's our land. And if we leave our land, esa es la consecuencia. We don't want to receive any more of our babies in coffins. We won't let it happen anymore. Israel, we are going to rise up. Do you know what else is usually orange? Lions. Also the Lion of Judah. He is going to rise up from this. And when he roars, again, after these agreements with Israel's enemies are over, those terrorists will regret it again, and once again, they will be hiding in their tunnels. Israel Hey. We will triumph. We will see days of peace. We will see days of joy. I send greetings to all of you. Thank you very much for supporting our page, for supporting Israel in these difficult days. Warm greetings to you all. We will triumph. We will see days of joy. All the best. Shalom.